On the Rocks with Mallie Fox strongly discourages drinking and driving. Please do not operate any vehicle while impaired. Please give your keys to someone responsible or hire the services of someone who can get you safely to where you need to go. So please don't drink and drive. However, drinking and bringing up politics at a holiday gathering is totally okay. Who doesn't want to be known as the person who ruined an already stressful and sad 2020 holiday?
It's been a hard day. Time to kick back, relax, and prepare a cocktail. Preferably one that is on the rocks with Mallie Fox.
Hello there. I'm Mallie Fox, and I'm with my amazing producer, Tim Dennis. How are you, Tim?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm great. Hey, so before we start catching up and chit-chatting, it was brought to my attention that I should start out the show with the cocktail recipe because people want to start making the drink as we talk.
Oh, okay.
And I think because I was waiting till like the very end, people were getting a little bit frustrated. They said that I should start it out in the beginning. So I'm gonna do this real quick. But the cocktail for tonight is called the Drunken Pumpkin Latte.
Oh.
Yes, it is delicious, except I went a little heavy with the vodka, so my throat was burning when I was drinking it. But I got it off of the Delish website. And basically, you need 2 teaspoons of pumpkin pie spice, 3 tablespoons of granulated sugar. You need a little lemon wedge. Drink's already kicking in. You need 1.5 cups of boiling water, 2 tablespoons of espresso, 2 tablespoons of regular sugar, 5 ounces of rum chata, delish.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 3 ounces of pumpkin pie vodka, and you need some whipped cream. So you're going to combine 1 teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice and a teaspoon of sugar on a small plate. You're going to rim your 2 cups. I always laugh when I say rim. Anyway, 2. My parents would. I just find it funny. But anyway, rim 2 coffee mugs with the lemon wedge. Then you dip in the sanding sugar and spice mix, and then you're going to put that aside. And then you're going to take a heat-proof measuring cup or bowl. You're going to stir in that espresso powder with the remaining 2 tablespoons of sugar, the remaining teaspoon of pumpkin spice, and you're going to put that into the boiling water until it dissolves, and then you're going to add the rum chata and vodka. You stir it about, and then you pour it into your prepared mugs, and you top with whipped cream, and you sprinkle some of that remaining sugar and spice mixture, and it is delicious. It's like pumpkin spice. It's like a pumpkin pie in your mouth.
Like a pumpkin pie in your mouth, but not really a pumpkin pie. You know what they hate at Starbucks? When you rim their coffee cups and they're not ready for it? I like to generally just right before people get their coffee, I like to take and rim everybody's coffee cup. Right? Just kind of, and then here you go, Marshall. Here's your coffee.
But how many people do you think would like take the cup from you? Because it would be like that awkward, like, do I take it? Do I not? Do I throw a fit? Do I just put it down? Like what? It's like it would be a stressful situation for me. I'd be like, okay, I probably should take it, but I'm not going to do anything with it. But I feel weird if I don't take it, like I'm not accepting a present. I don't know. It would be goofy, don't you think?
It would be a little weird, but hey, it was done with love, so.
Yeah. Okay, now we're talking about done with rimming. Okay, so
that's what she said. Yeah.
Exactly. Thank goodness we do this late so that children hopefully aren't listening to the show, including my parents. But okay. So anyway, how have you been? What have you been up to? What's going on? It's been a while since we've last talked.
Yeah. Well, I've been good. You know what? I've been spending a little bit of more time with my nephew Austin, who it's been quite the blessing actually. In spending time with him, I'm learning that he's quite the little guitar virtuoso, which is kind of cool. Yeah. And me having noodled around with a guitar since I was 14, it's kind of fun to kind of sit and talk guitars with him. And I recently got with Eddie Van Halen having passed away recently, and I was really hit hard by that because since I've been listening to Eddie since, gosh, I don't know. I think I was probably, first time I heard Eddie, I was probably 11 years old. I think.
Yeah, I think it affected a lot of people in our generation.
Yeah, and so, but it really hit my nephew hard too, because and you would think it wouldn't hit a 16-year-old hard,
right?
But he is really kind of a old soul, so he loves Jimi Hendrix and Eric Clapton and Eddie Van Halen, and he's got a Mexican Stratocaster, and he plays that thing all the time. He's on it all the time. So he and I we're hanging out here at the house, and my sister had come by, and I have an I know this makes no sense to anybody who doesn't play a guitar, but I have before Eddie died, I had bought an EVH signature series, Wolfgang USA. It's the closest to the guitar that Eddie plays on stage, or played on stage in the last tour that he played. Because I wanted, when I was a kid, when I was just a kid, that 14, 15-year-old kid, I wanted something as close to the guitar that Eddie played on stage. That was like a dream of mine, to actually have something as close to the guitar that Eddie played on stage. I turned 50 this year, and for a birthday gift, that's what I wanted. That was absolutely what I wanted. So I went and got it. So the nephew came over, and I let him play it. I wanted to see him play it because he's much better than I am. I don't have enough time to sit and play it, but occasionally I break it out and I'll play it and have my fun with it. But as horrible as I am, but he's really good. I mean, really good. And when he eventually gets through high school, he'd like to go to the Berklee School of Music out in California. And one of the things that I don't think either you do or you don't as a parent, or you do or you don't as an auntie or an uncle or someone who's a mentor in a child's life, is you probably don't tell your kids enough how important it is to follow a dream. You try to put good common sense in their head. You try to tell them, you need to be a good boy or girl, and you need to pay your bills, and you need to be responsible, and you need to be on time. You need to have a good work ethic. But you don't tell them to follow that dream, that you can make your dream a reality, and that you can work and achieve your dreams. And I think in life we might give up on our dreams too soon. And I think we think that our dreams are too unattainable. Mm-hmm. So, I've been, he's said, and he's sat and told me, Uncle Timmy, if I never do get in a band and make good money with it. And I said, no, you need to consider what making good money is. Because I do have a friend who started the band, and I don't know if you know the band's name, Boogie Wonderland, who they're kind of they're Minnesota famous,
Yep.
I have a friend who started Boogie Wonderland, and he owns 4 or 5 houses, which many of them are rental properties. He's made a ton of money. He has 5 kids, and he's about to put a few through college because of it. Mm-hmm. And my friend comes by, and he's played my Wolfie, my guitar, and absolutely loves it. And and he and I, we're childhood friends. We've been friends since we were little shavers together. The fact of the matter remains, he made a very good living doing music. And at one time was featured in Guitar World magazine as one of the most, when he was young, when he was, in his early 20s, as one of the best guitarists in the world, but never became a household name because of it.
Okay.
So the fact of the matter is you can make a very good living in music and be happy, but never become a household name.
Right.
And still be happy and live your dreams. You can be a weekend warrior and be happy and mm-hmm. and live your dream.
I think you would have more freedom if you did well, but wasn't a household name. Because I think once you have a household you are a household name, you have more restrictions. There's things you're limited to. You don't have as much privacy.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And you know what? There's something to be said about learning to be humble and learning to be a well-rounded person before you do become a household name. Mm-hmm. Because you need to have a good structure and a good foundation before you seek out fame and fortune, because you need to learn how to handle it, I think, before you do. Because you see so many people crash and burn, or so many one-hit wonders go by the side, and you wonder how that happens or why it happens. And a lot of people like to blame the media. That's the first target. I blame the media.
Right.
Well, I hate to tell you, folks, the media doesn't sit around waiting for people to bring down and tear down and build up. They just don't have that much time on their hands. I hate to tell you that. And then the next people that get the finger pointed at them is the American public. Well, the American public loves to eat them up and spit them out. Well, you know what? I don't think you and I, Mallie, and the rest of the American public sit around thinking about who we want to build up and tear down next either. I mean, sure, we love to watch a good train wreck. But
that's my Real Housewives.
Yeah,
that takes care of that problem for me.
The train wreck always presents itself, doesn't it?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. We never manufacture the train wreck. The train wreck just always shows up and says, "Look at me," and then it falls. So really, it's about having yourself ready for that moment and that opportunity, and then being able to handle that opportunity long term. Not just handle it for a year, for 2 years, or 5 years, or 10 years, but for the long haul. And the people who have done really well with it have I'm not saying a good moral compass, because a lot of them don't. Mm-hmm. But they do have a way of being ready to handle it long term. They know how to, there's always the joke about, and I'll go right back to Van Halen. There was always the joke about, they went out on stage with a full bottle of Jack Daniels, but it was filled with iced tea. Mm-hmm. It's the illusion that we're partying every night really hard, but are we?
Right.
It's the moral compass. Are we really doing everything we say we're doing, or are we giving you the show? You do have to have that center of morality, so to speak, in order to keep doing it long term. But I'll get back to my story here, and that is that I was sitting and watching my nephew, who's 16 years old, and he's only been noodling with this guitar for, a little less than a year. And he's playing full bars and riffs from not only Eddie Van Halen, but Steve Vai and Joe Satriani and all these guitarists that play very difficult licks. They're not easy licks to play. And I stopped him a few times. I said, "Austin, where'd you learn that?" And he'd say, "Oh, Uncle Tim, I'd sit and I'd listen by ear, and then I'd watch them play it. And I said, "How much do you know about music theory? And how much do you know about tablature? And how much do you know about, reading notes?" He said, "Well, I don't read music. And I know a little bit about tablature, but mainly just by watching and listening." And I went, wow.
So he's got the natural gift.
Yeah. So I said, okay, so here's what we're going to do. And so I kind of set him up to succeed. I said, we're going to get you going on lessons. We're going to get you going on learning. And I know you want to learn, but we need to get you going now. And I said, because he's always got the guitar in his hands. He's always fiddling with the guitar. He's always fiddling with the strings. And when there's a true love affair with something, when you're constantly working at something and it's a passion, and you just do it because you love it, and you could do this forever, and that's what he's got with this guitar. And I told him that, and I saw him over Thanksgiving, and I told him that, I said, "Can you see this is something you could do forever? I mean, something that you just don't want to let go?" And he goes, "Yeah, definitely." I said, "Well, then this," and I said, "Do you hear music in your head? I mean, when you're playing, can you hear your own compositions?" He said, "Yeah." And I said, "Do you wish you could take that stuff in your head and put it through the guitar and make music?" He said, "Yeah." And I said, I think it's time for you to start learning your craft. And he said, I want to, really badly, I want to. And I said, well, let's give you the tools then to do that. And, you know, there's so many people, I think, and it may seem so simple, you know, it's such a simple thing to say, but yet it's so hard. It's to say to a child, all right, let's give you what you need in order to do what it is you want to do. You know, you may say, well, I don't know how to do that. I don't do that. No, but there's people who do that can do that, you know, or there's people that can give them lessons to do what they do. You may not know how to do it. You may not be the best there is at it. You may not even know how to do it. You know, if I have a nephew who wants to be a carpenter, I don't show him how to put a nail in something, but I take him to somebody who does, you know. That's the best I know. I'm not a parent, but, you know, I apparently know. That's my best saying.
Right.
You know, and you know, after talking to my sister about it, she's like, thank God you're here, because I have no idea what to do. And I said, but you do. I mean, I do. I would assume, I would think you would. But I guess I do, because at one time I spoke the language, or I do speak the language. You know, we had a good talk over Thanksgiving. You know, I understand, you know, what it is he's trying to accomplish, and I had a good talk about how you study your craft and how you get from the technical to the artistry part of your craft. You know, you need to learn the technical side first, and then get to the artistic side of your craft. But learn your craft on the technical side from top to bottom. Master that part, then get to the part where you put your heart and soul into it and master that part of it. But before you do, make sure you know how all the bits and bobbles work, you know.
Right.
So that you can get what's in your head out, and your head and your heart out onto the guitar. And he completely knew what I was talking about. You know, it's right. Like we were speaking the same language.
Now, did you have a nice Thanksgiving? I mean, did. I know you hung out with your nephew, but I mean, how was Thanksgiving Day? Because I know a lot of people, you know, we weren't able to be with our loved ones. We had to keep it down. Yeah. You know, in numbers and stuff. But how was that? That was awesome. You know, I did miss everybody, because we didn't, you know, normally we have the big family get together, and right. I am very much a family person. And I did miss everybody, because I didn't get to see everybody. My other sister works in the Fairview Hospital system, and she insisted that we stay away this year. Right. So we did as she asked. So I didn't get to see my other two nephews. I did say I stopped by to pick up something from my mom, so I did get to see my one nephew for a quick second. But it wasn't the same. But you know it. You know, and I did miss that part, but so it felt weird. The whole day felt a little weird, but the fact that I did have that time with my other sister Colleen and Austin and my brother-in-law Chris, and I mean that part of the day felt complete. We had a nice quiet. It wasn't really quiet, but it was because it was loud and raucous, and we had a good time. But you know, but the fact that it was smaller and I guess more intense that way. It was a good Thanksgiving. It just wasn't complete because everybody wasn't there, but it was good. It was still a good Thanksgiving. It was different. You know, it's I hope everybody was fortunate enough to take advantage of the day, in that, you know, the day may have been pared down. You didn't have as many people around you, but that you took the day with the people you had and really focused on them and got to create some special memories with them, because I know I did. Mm-hmm. That's good. Well, my family, as you know, is Minnesota, so I was here in Michigan But normally we spend the holiday with Derek's family. It's an Irish, Catholic family, huge. And, but because of underlying issues and you got to keep it under and stuff, his parents just dropped off food on our porch. And then it was
really?
It was just, yeah. Well, because his mom she has underlying health issues, and we just didn't want to, do anything that might, affect her. So, and Derek has 2 children from a previous marriage. So it was just us 2 and then the kids, and we kind of took it easy. But you know what? It was kind of nice because usually on Thanksgiving, I am running around with my head cut off because I'm trying to get the kids ready. I'm trying to get ready. There's always last minute things, trying to quick make a dish. We have to be at this house at this time. Then we have to move over to this house. You know what I mean? So it's chaotic. And here it was, I just took my time. I just relaxed. And I mean, it was actually quite nice. And I didn't overeat because I'm usually having like 2 meals. Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, that was good. That was good. But it was so funny because over the holiday weekend, I haven't really had much to do since we're, in lockdown again.
Yep.
I am becoming like addicted to TikTok. And I really am. And it's bad. It's bad. I don't even have an account. I like shadow everyone because I don't know why I'm afraid to set up an account. But I have now become so bad. I have self-diagnosed myself with I now think I have ADHD. I think I have a thyroid problem. I think all of these things. So I've moved on from WebMD to now TikTok, where I'm like, ooh, maybe I have this. Ooh, look at these. I mean, I also watch other things crystals and meditations and all this stuff on TikTok. But there's so many health things. I'm like, ooh, maybe I have this. Maybe I have that. So I've become this big basket case over the last few days because it's all I have is time on my hands. So I'm like,
So how many do you think you accurately do have, though?
I don't know. I'm such an extremist. I really am. It's one thing and I'm like, oh my God, I have it. So, you know what I mean? I mean, with the ADHD, I actually think I might have that because I am all over the place. My mind doesn't shut down. All of these things, I think I might be a little bit that. I think I am hormonal. So I think I might have a thyroid problem. So yeah. Oh my God. But yeah. Derek's just like, oh my God, you need to get off of that. Seriously. So that's what I've been doing the past few days. Did I tell you about my, what happened to me, where I thought I had COVID for a flash second?
No.
Oh my God. So I was at, cause on TikTok, see, I'm bad with social media. On TikTok, everywhere else too, they always tell you what the symptoms are if you have it. This person's like, oh my God, I got tested. I had it. I lost my sense of smell. I've lost my sense of taste, this and this and this. Okay. So I went to Hobby Lobby a week or 2 ago. No, it's been longer than that. A couple of weeks ago, I went to Hobby Lobby and they have this array of candles, right?
Right.
And it's all these colors and I love candles. I do. I love candles. So I'm like, ooh, what flavors do we have? There's so many colors. So I go over there and I start smelling them and I'm like, oh my God, I don't smell anything. Oh my God, I have COVID. Oh my God. You know what I mean? I'm going through my head. I'm like, oh, let's open this one. I don't smell it. Let's open up this one. I don't smell it. I don't smell anything. And this is early in the morning. So I haven't eaten anything. So right. I haven't noticed that my sense of taste is gone. I'm just smelling candles and nothing is smelling. And I'm like, holy crap, I have COVID. And then I look down, I'm in the unscented area. Unscented candles. I was laughing so hard because I started freaking myself out that I was laughing. And people were looking at me like, oh my God, what the hell? And I had to call Derek and be like, oh my God, I thought I had COVID for a brief moment. But instead I'm in the unscented candle area. But who has unscented candles? Come on. If you've got lots of colors, they should be scented. They should have a smell. But yeah, so like I said, I jump to conclusions on ailments and, oh my gosh, I have this and that and whatever.
Mal, let me tell you something. How hard does the flu hit you when you get it? Or generally?
Actually, I don't ever get sick. I really don't. It is rare that I get sick.
But when
I get my migraines here and there, but other than that, I don't get sick.
But when you do get the flu, does it hit you hard?
Not really.
Not really? Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then you might be one of those who, if you get COVID, you'd be asymptomatic. When I get the flu, it hits me, and when I got COVID, it hit me. I was going to say, if you're one of those who when you get a virus, you get hit hard, you'll know when you get COVID.
Right.
You'll know. I mean, for me, it was 3 weeks of a living nightmare. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you'll know.
No, I did get really sick in February for it, and Derek knew I was really sick because I don't get sick. Mm-hmm. And so when I do, that was pretty bad. But normally I'm pretty healthy. And if I don't feel well, I don't really tell people about it. I kind of, I just keep it to myself. Like when my eye is shutting close and I can't see because of a migraine, I don't tell people. Yeah. They're just looking at me like, what is going on with your eye? But yeah, I was kind of brought up not to complain.
Right.
Yeah. So So even when I'm not doing well, I kind of hide it. I just put on a smile and fake it.
Oh yeah. I'll drag myself to the computer and I'll do a show, but I did an episode of True Crime Tuesday, and I did two other shows with COVID. Yeah. I dragged myself to the computer and I pulled up my big boy pants and I did the show. I didn't sound good.
Right.
But I managed to do it. So, yeah.
So now since Thanksgiving is now done with,
mm-hmm.
Are you starting to decorate for Christmas? Are you getting in the holiday spirit?
Yeah, I'm getting there. I have one small problem.
Okay.
If I may. Just for a brief moment, and I know I'm going to offend some people with this. I don't care how bad your 2020 has been. I really don't. Uh-huh. I've had a horse bleep 2022. Mm-hmm. Don't decorate before Thanksgiving. I don't care. I don't care how bad your 2020's been. I couldn't handle it. I saw so many people decorating before Thanksgiving, and I'm like, no. Let the seasons be what they are.
Yeah.
Just enjoy it for what it is. Let me have my turkey before I, start thinking about Christmas. I like the fact that Black Friday was spread out over a few weeks. That was nice.
Right. Yeah, that was very nice.
Yeah, and that it went virtual. That was very nice. Thank you for that, because I really didn't want to have to fight shoppers in especially in COVID country. That I like the fact that I could order from home. I appreciate that very much. But please, people, let's not, the fact that Christmas music was heard 2 weeks before Thanksgiving on most local stations. I wanted to beat up local programmers. I just, no, it's just too soon. Mm-hmm. Why would you, right after Halloween's over, why would you start with Christmas music?
Yeah, people do that, though. They've been doing that for years.
Oh, but it got bad this year.
Yeah, it did. A little part of me understands, but at the same time, I'm with you. I like to have each holiday be its own. We don't need any overlapping.
If Thanksgiving were a squirrel running across the road, it had no chance. It had oncoming traffic coming from both directions, barreling down at 80 miles an hour in both ways. It was going to get run over this year.
Yeah, especially in my neighborhood. Man, our squirrels are fat.
Oh, yeah. Well, tell me about it.
They've been eating everything left and right. The pumpkins, they have just... I found one coming out of a pumpkin. It ate a hole in it, and it was eating from the inside out. It came crawling out. We've got fat ones. Oh, they're so cute though, but they are fat.
Big fat squirrels, huh?
Oh my God,
That's the name of my new rock band, Big Fat Squirrels.
So okay, like I said, I'm with you with not decorating too early, but I did because I get real trees, so I have to wait. Otherwise, it's a big fire hazard.
Right.
If I get them too soon. But I did get a small Christmas tree for my office because it's pink.
Oh.
It is pink flocked, 4-foot, gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
And I drove down to Ohio to go get it because it was sold out everywhere here in Michigan. And I needed it.
Okay. I'll give you that.
Yeah. So I went down there, picked up my Chick-fil-A.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. So it was well worth the 45-minute drive there and back for my pink, beautiful Christmas tree that now sits in my office.
All right.
Because it makes me happy.
I'll give you that one. Okay. Sure. For a pink Christmas tree and Chick-fil-A, I'll give you that one.
Which I'm not supposed to tell my dad I eat Chick-fil-A because he's boycotting it right now. And I think he'd be very disappointed in me if I told him I was eating Chick-fil-A.
Well, I can understand that one too. I actually asked Chip Coffee for forgiveness for that one, and Spider Baby as well for eating Chick-fil-A. Spider wasn't as forgiving, I don't think, but I don't remember if he was or not. I think Chip Coffee was forgiving because Chick-fil-A is pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Supposedly they gave back to charities. I don't know what this story was on that deal. I don't think we're totally forgiven for eating Chick-fil-A. But damn, it's so good.
It is. It is so delicious. And their mac and cheese.
Oh, right.
To die for.
I know, right? Oh, mac and cheese.
I wish I liked sweet tea though, but I don't. Do you like sweet tea?
I do. I love sweet tea. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Give me now because of the tooth issue. I'm still working on the whole dental thing, but for now I'm doing just the nuggets. I'm not doing I'm not doing the whole sandwich.
Oh, see, I got to do the whole sandwich.
When I get the whole dental thing worked out, I'm going back to the sandwich. But for now, I'm just doing nuggets. I'm just doing like 6 or 9 nuggets because I don't really have a lot of room to eat all the whole big
and
sandwich.
that's still good though. And they're waffle fries. And I'm amazed. I feel like we should be sponsored by Chick-fil-A.
We should.
I'm amazed how quick those lines go. Like I go to so many fast food restaurants and I swear to God, every other one messes up my order. I've never had an incorrect order at Chick-fil-A, and they are always so nice to me. But that drive-through, you see it like wrapped around the building. You're like, that looks like it's going to be long. And they are so quick and accurate. I just love it.
It's like Army Ranger training that they go through. Yeah, like Navy SEAL training. They get in there. They're so efficient, and they get you out of there. And you know what? It's too bad you don't like sweet tea because they sell it by the gallon, Mallie.
Yeah, I'm not a big tea fan. I like hot tea, but cold tea, and I was born and raised in the South, so you'd think I'd like iced tea. Everyone in my family does, but I just don't. I could leave it.
Oh, I love me some sweet tea, especially from Chick-fil-A. It's good.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah,
you know what's even better?
In it.
You know what's even better though from Chick-fil-A?
What?
When you get, and this is even bad for the environment. I feel so bad. I feel like somebody should come over and just beat me with a bat right now. The ice cold Coke with the ice in the styrofoam cup. I know styrofoam cups are so bad, especially for the environment, but darn it, it's so good.
It's like the perfect combination.
It is a fountain Coke and a styrofoam cup and just a little pebble ice, and it. Oh.
Hey, do you know what those elves on the shelf are? Have you seen them? Elf on the shelves, whatever you call them.
Yep.
So I swore that I would never have like inflatables on the outside for Christmas, that I would never have like colored lights on the outside, and that I would never have an elf on the shelf.
Okay, well, first of all, let's break it down real quick. Why not inflatables on the outside? Because I love there's certain inflatables like I absolutely love.
Right.
Like the cousins down in Florida had an inflatable baby Yoda for Halloween. I thought it was the greatest thing ever. But why not inflatables on the outside?
Because I always was very like a purist. I was like, I like my white lights. I like traditional decorations. I like it simple, clean. I don't like blow ups. Colored lights are okay on one of my trees inside. I was very like almost Martha Stewart kind of vanilla. I was very vanilla-y. Okay. If that's a word. Vanilla-y.
Sure.
So.
Vanilla-y?
Vanilla-y. However, having children now, I have colored lights. I have blow-ups.
Yep.
And I have the elves on the shelves. So if there are any kids listening right now, this is a disclaimer. Let them leave the room. Because here we go.
Uh-oh.
Okay. So every year for the past, 3-4 years that we've had them, I find it very annoying with this elf on the shelf. And it's because I'm lazy. I think it's a cute idea, but I'm lazy.
All right.
I don't want to have to come up with a scenario every time the kids leave the frickin' room.
Right.
I got to come up with a whole action thing. I have to, when I talk to them on the phone, I have to tell them, oh yeah, they're doing this now. They're doing that. And if I don't move them because we went out shopping and now we're back, then they're like, well, why didn't they move? Because we have a boy and we have a girl.
Okay.
Cookie and Dude.
Oh,
kids named them.
Oh, nice. Cookie and Dude.
Right.
All right.
Cookie and Dude.
Dig it.
So, right. So this year I was like, oh, they're getting kind of older.
Yeah.
They might not be believing in the elves on the shelves anymore.
Right.
So let's just test this out and see, because this would be so nice if I didn't have to do this year. I mean, come on. I'm going on Pinterest, on Google. What can I do now for with the dolls that's PG friendly? And so I was like, okay, let's test the waters. So I was talking to Luke and I'm like, because of COVID, I don't know if Dude and Cookie are going to be coming to visit. They've got to be really careful.
God.
The look on his face, you thought that I told him that Santa does not exist.
Wow.
I was like, crap. He still believes. So then I winked and I was like, just kidding. And he's like, okay. You know what I mean? But I was like, dang it. Oh, I got to do another year.
You got to start.
So they've already been asking, have they done anything? And I'm like, you know what? They don't come till December 1st, sweetie. The magic doesn't start until then.
Yeah. 24, 25 days of Christmas. Here's what you got to start doing. You got to start doing like the evil frat. I can't say it. The evil frat pranks of Dude and Cookie. Stuff like like crapping on their pillows, but it's just like a Hershey Kiss, like smudged.
Oh, that's actually kind of funny.
Smudged into their pillow, like they took a crap on your pillow. Stuff like that. Just really evil stuff to make them think that Dude and Cookie have just had enough.
But see, the problem is that they've got Bernard at their mom's house. So it's like, I can't have ours be evil and then their mom's is a saint. You know what I mean? So it's like, dang nabbit. Maybe they'll just be a little bit mischievous. Like last year, they got into the flour and because they were baking and, all that stuff and into the toothpaste and things like that. But yeah, I thought this year might be the year that I don't have to do it.
You couldn't have them like you don't have like another, like a elf ornament off the tree. Like they could have shanked them. You have like a little bit of blood coming off of the elf ornament and it's like hanging off the tree somewhere. And,
yeah, let's just scar them so that their mother hates me even more. With
a little note that say bitches get snitches get stitches or something like that. I mean, come on. There's a lot of creative avenues to go here, Mallie. I mean, it's, to make them say. I know,
but I was trying to do it like sweet and, very holiday-ish. And
well, this is how they go. I don't ever want to see Dude and Cookie ever again. This is like, Mom, Dude and Cookie give me nightmares.
Yeah. So then I'm going to be paying for a therapist for the next 10 years.
Well, what would you rather do? Write a check every month or go through the scenario of Dude and Cookie for a month every year?
I need to look at it as they still believe in the magic. You know, the magic of Christmas. They still believe in Santa because they're 10 and 8. He's going to be 9 in January. So they're 10 and 8. So, you know, the magic of Christmas, Santa, the elves. So, I mean, I need to look at it as they're still innocent.
Oh, but they'll believe all right, especially if you got like dude hanging one of his action figures from a noose, just holding it there and smiling. I mean, you know, stuff like that. I mean, stuff like that goes a long way from making them think that they want to see Dude and Cookie again. Just saying.
Oh, yeah. Well, maybe this would be the last year, but I don't want to scar them.
Well, you know, I mean, it's something to think about, Mallie. Just mull it over. You don't have to take action today.
Right.
You know, I've just given you 3 really good ideas. That's 3 days worth of stuff right there. You know.
Well, and before, so they got in trouble at their mom's house because Luke touched Bernard, their elf, so he lost the magic. So she didn't have to move it around for like 2 weeks. So I was like, ooh, maybe he'll mess around with this one. And I'd be like, sorry, you touched him. He lost his magic for a little bit. But that kid, he is like, it's like a ninja with the lasers because he will somehow like grab a pen, put it in the arm thing so he does not touch it. He's still moving it, but he doesn't physically touch it because he learned his lesson.
God, I could have used that excuse for so many things as to why I didn't turn out better in life. You touched me, so therefore I lost my magic.
They're good kids, though, but oh my goodness. Yeah, but I swore I would never do those things, and here I am. I guess never say never, right?
You know, it can become... Oh, you know what, Mallie?
What?
I should send you this link. WWE has... You know how you have Elf on a Shelf? Have you ever seen Bray Wyatt's character, The Fiend? Oh, I should almost mail you the... They have a thing called The Fiend on the Scene.
Okay.
And The Fiend on the Scene... Gosh, I should see if I can find this real quick. And while we're talking here on the show, I should see if I could find... Hold on. Okay, well, while we're talking here, I'm going to try and find this, and I'm going to try and send it to you. Oh, here it is. The Fiend on the Scene holiday plush. Okay, so here's what we do. You work The Fiend on the Scene in with Dude and Cookie, all right?
Okay.
Okay, I've got the picture of it here. You tell me they won't stop asking for Dude and Cookie, all right?
Are you sending it to me?
I am. Hold on a second here. I just got to, for some reason, I can't. Oh, for the love of God, my phone is froze on Dave Schrader. Even when we're recording, I can't get him off my phone. All right. Okay, so here is The Fiend on the Scene. I'm sending.
Good God.
Did you see him?
Yeah, that's scary looking.
Isn't it? That's The Fiend on the Scene Bray Wyatt holiday plush toy. You could put The Fiend on the Scene up with Dude and Cookie and say, look, The Fiend is now part of the group.
Oh, that's scary looking.
Isn't he?
Yeah.
That's something else, isn't he?
Yeah. It reminds me of that one horror movie with the... Oh, what was it? It was that little puppet guy with the white hair. Oh,
he kind of looks like evil Beetlejuice.
Yeah, that too. But he reminds me of, I can't remember what the movie I'm thinking of.
Are you talking about Jack Skellington or?
No.
No.
You know, it'll come to me when we're, of course, off the air.
Yeah.
But it reminds me of something from a horror movie. Hey, have you watched it? Speaking of horror movies, have you watched anything lately? Any good horror movies?
I have been stuck to a studio, so no, I haven't. No.
I just watched a movie, which I thought was actually kind of good. I watched it last night. And what was it called? It was Don't Listen. So I think it's Italian or Spanish, but then you've got subtitles. Maybe it's Italian. Anyway, it was actually kind of good. It has a twist at the end, but it's about this family that for a living, they renovate old houses and then turn around and sell them. But while they renovate, they live there.
Okay.
But they moved to this villa, and it's a gorgeous old place. And the kid starts hearing things, and like it's talking to him through like the walkie-talkies and stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I have heard of that.
Yeah, and then you've got like this creepy figure that you kind of see out of the corner of your eye, and it has those scenes where, you know, in movies, it freaks me out ever since Poltergeist, where like you look underneath the bed and you see something there, or you don't see anything and you pop up and it's not there, and then you look back under and you see something, and it's like that anticipation of, oh my God, something's about to jump out or something's about to, you know, appear. But it had a really good creep factor to it. Okay. But anyway, so he starts hearing these things, and he's telling his family, his mom and dad, you know, I'm hearing this, and they're just chalking it up to, oh, well, this kid moves around a lot, so he's just trying to adapt. But they end up going to an author that his specialty is EVPs. So it's kind of cool to they do a lot of electronic the voice phenomenon stuff. So he's walking around with, like, you know, his little gear and stuff, and they're playing it back, and they have heat sensors. And anyway, it was kind of cool. It reminded me, it was creepy, like the Hill House kind of.
Okay.
Haunting of Hill House.
Yeah.
But it has a twist at the end. So I enjoyed it. Some people don't like movies with subtitles, but you know, there was a part I was like, but for the most part I was entertained.
You know, it came out that I have wanted to check out, but I haven't had time yet. It was this past Friday the 13th, November 13th, was Freaky. It was the Blumhouse reimagining of Freaky Friday.
Oh, you know what? I saw that too. I saw commercials for it.
Yeah, and I wanted to check it out. I haven't had time to see it yet, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because wasn't it kind of a comedy? I thought there was a little bit of comedy to it, but maybe I'm wrong.
I don't think there was comedy but well, there might have been some punchlines and stuff like that. You know how like the old horror movies had like a
right.
Yeah, but
well, maybe I thought that because of Vince.
Might have been.
Because he's in it, isn't he?
Vince Vaughn?
Yeah, isn't he in it?
I don't think he was. I didn't think there was anybody well known in it. Let me check here.
Or there's somebody. There was somebody in it.
Let me look up IMDb real quick.
I'm probably like putting two movies together. I have a tendency to do that. That's part of my ADHD.
This ADHD that you've been looking.
Yeah, my self-diagnosed.
The ADHD director was Christopher Landon. Music composed by Bear McCreary. I know you're a huge Bear McCreary fan there.
I don't even know who that is.
Oh, you're right. Vince Vaughn isn't
okay,
it?
Thank you.
As Blissfield Butcher.
So I think that's why I thought it was a comedy.
Probably. He's the only known actor in this. Otherwise, Alan Ruck is in it. Alan Ruck from Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. You know, Ferris's friend.
Yeah. No, he's in a show I'm watching on Hulu. What is it called? I think it's called like The Exorcist. I think it was on like Fox or something like years ago. Mm-hmm. It has Gina. Is it Gina Davis?
Okay.
Anyway, from The Fly. Is that Gina Davis?
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, it was a series. It was a 1-season thing, but it's The Exorcist, and he plays the dad.
Okay.
That has like a brain injury. I just started watching that the other day on Hulu. I don't remember ever coming out on TV, but apparently it did.
Supposedly, Freaky Online on IMDb is getting 6.8 out of 10.
Okay.
Which isn't too bad.
No, not for a horror movie. I feel like horror movies always get a lower rating.
Yeah. That's not bad at all. Mm-hmm. I wonder what... Well, I shouldn't hold up the show to look up what Rotten Tomatoes is giving. Oh, Rotten Tomatoes is giving it 83%.
Oh, okay. That is good rating.
Yeah. Huh. Interesting. Well, there you go. But yeah, that's the one that I've been kind of curious to check out. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hey, did you see there's a theater. So I always make this joke where I always tell Derek, because I'm like 9 years older than him, and I like him young. And
you cradle robber.
I know. You know, what can I say? But I always tell him that when I'm gone, I'm going to haunt his ass, right?
Good for you.
And thank you. If I can't have him, no one will. But there is a theater in Canada, and they're trying to raise funds because, you know, times are tough.
Right.
And so for $25, you could you donate, and you could enter this contest where if you're picked, you can be like the designated like ghost of the building. Supposedly this place is haunted.
Okay.
But no one has any like anything set in stone. There's like no proof. There's just all these little random stories here and there, but there's no background to it. There's anything like that. So what they thought, which actually was kind of clever, they had this contest. You donate $25 and you had a chance to be like the designated ghost. So when you pass on, you can be the one that haunts the theater. Yeah, I thought it was kind of cute. It was kind of, you know, I don't know. It was for Halloween, but it was a good way to try and raise some money. You know, you gotta think outside the box. But right. I was like, well, dang, I would haunt for free.
Well, yeah, exactly. How do they stop you from not haunting the theater when you die?
Yeah, I don't know, but supposedly you get like the certificate, and they're gonna like make this plaque thing and hang it up, and yeah, you're like the designated ghost.
Interesting.
Yeah. So if you could, who would you haunt, or what would you haunt? Like, what place would you haunt? If you had a choice, if you knew that you could come back and haunt someplace, where would it be? Because my concern is if I was to choose a place, it would probably be torn down. It'd be like one of those historic buildings that just falls to shit. So it's torn down for safety reasons. So then I'm like, you know, wandering up and down the street. But if you could haunt a place, where would it be?
The Deja Vu dressing room on Washington Avenue in Minneapolis.
There we
go. Let's see. Where would I?
People are like Deja Vu. Hey, don't they have good chicken wings? Is that the place that had good chicken wings? Someone had good chicken wings.
I'd be dead. Oh no, that's the one in Atlanta. That's the what do you call it? I can't remember.
Because there's one with a buffet.
Yeah, that's the one that the the NBA player got busted for leaving the bubble.
Okay.
Yeah, what's the name of the? Oh, here now I got to Google it again. Someday the FBI is going to show up at my house for all my Google
with
searches.
My search.
Yeah, with my search. Yeah, and they're going to be like, "Why did you look up Atlanta strip club wings?"
Think you're looking good.
Speaking of, I have a hell of a story to tell you. Magic City, that's what it was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was Magic City in Atlanta. That's where that's where that dumb NBA player decided he was going to get out of the bubble to go get wings from. Yeah, the Magic City, exactly. Magic City. That's it, their dressing room. That's where I'm going to end up haunting, and then get some wings. Okay, so real quick before I get your answer as to where you're going to haunt, I got to tell you an interesting story about Google searches and why you should never do them at work.
Okay.
And it has to do with when we were back at iHeartRadio.
Okay.
I won't name the producer, but let's just say we both.
Do I know him?
Yes, we used to. Okay. We both used to work with him.
Okay.
On that paranormal program we used to work on.
Oh, that paranormal program.
Yes. Turns out that person was doing searches after the show. On how to build a bomb.
Get the hell out.
So one day I come into work and I'm called into Chad Abbott's office, the program director.
Right.
And there's an FBI agent waiting for me.
You never told me this.
Yeah. Oh, you've never been so scared and want to shit your pants in your life as when you walk into an office.
You never told me this.
Oh, I watched this person get arrested and leave the building. Yeah. So I walk in and I'm told, we need you to make a phone call. And I'm like, okay. We need you to call so-and-so and tell them that you need them to come in tonight to work for you. All right. And that's all we need you to do. Okay. And they said, and here's why. And they show me pictures from inside the studio, my studio, the producer studio, of said person on the studio computers. Good thing there was nothing else going on besides just looking up bomb plans, right? Looking up plans on how to build a bomb. And then where to plant said bomb inside iHeartRadio's facilities.
Well, I guess I'm glad you didn't tell me this while I worked there.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Make you a little nervous now there, Mel?
Oh, my God.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. And then big pictures of him smiling as he's looking at it. And I got to look at the actual file folder and everything. And they said...
did he have crazy eyes when he was smiling looking at that stuff?
Oh, very crazy.
Oh, my God.
Now, said person, he or she, I didn't say whether it was he or she. Said person was in the Gulf War, or one of the Gulf Wars.
Okay.
And had a bit of PTSD.
Oh.
And
but still.
Yeah. So they said call this person and tell them to come in, and they need to work for you tonight. So I did. I called them and asked them if they could come in, which they agreed to. And they didn't even get to step foot into the producer studio. I was just supposed to stand in the producer studio as they came in.
Right.
And said FBI agent came up from behind, handcuffed them, read them their rights. And they were handed a box of their belongings that was there at said iHeart studio.
Right.
And were told they were let go. And then they were escorted off the property. I continued to get emails from said person saying that they were innocent.
Oh, so he didn't go off to jail or prison? Because he hadn't done anything? Is that why he just...
They pled out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. That's so scary.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So...
Well, now...
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. I'm like sitting here like my mouth is open.
So just be careful what you search for when you're on company property, because a lot of companies do go through your searches on your profile.
Dang.
A lot of your stuff is flagged. So what would I come back reincarnated as?
Yeah, you leave me shocked, and now you're like, oh, so where
or what would I haunt? Where would I haunt? Oh my God. Gosh, I don't know. You know, honestly, I don't know that I'd haunt anything. I might just hang around future generations with my family. I'd want to see.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I'd want to see how they're doing, what they're doing, and how they're progressing. That they're okay. That's what I do.
Look at yours, all nice and sweet, and I'm like, I'm gonna haunt your ass so no one else can have you.
And I do that too. I probably, and you're
just like, oh, I'm gonna watch the generations grow up.
Well, I tend to do that. I tend to want to make sure that nieces and nephews are okay and that they're doing okay, and then I would take out the people that hurt them the most.
Okay, there we go.
I would be some spirit of vengeance. And then
possessing their cars.
Yeah, I'd make sure they'd run into bridge walls and fall out of their cars into their deaths. Innocent stuff like that. No, I don't know. And then I'd go to Magic City and then I'd celebrate with wings and strippers.
There we go.
Yeah. See, there's the dirty side of me, Mallie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of wings, when you eat a wing,
yeah, how
do you do it? Do you pick at it, or do you shove the whole thing in your mouth and pull out? I didn't mean it that way. I just
wow.
No.
Wow.
That came out wrong.
Wow.
No, but how you watch some people eat a chicken wing and they put the whole thing in their mouth, and then it's like they eat everything. It's just the bone that's left.
I bet there is.
Because I'm a picker. I will only eat that little sliver of meat because I don't want the other stuff. So I leave half the chicken wing behind.
Mm-hmm.
But then you've got some people that just devour it, and there's nothing left.
shove it in their mouth and pull out.
I know, that's so bad. My face is red now. I seriously didn't mean it that way.
Of course not.
I just meant,
Yeah.
But you know what I meant. Like, I've seen people do that.
Yeah. Yeah. I just like to go around the base and devour it. There you go. Tit for tat. I just like to, clean up around the main part and throw the rest away.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I can't believe I said it that way. Oh, jeez Louise.
We have a Malleeism.
Yeah. My favorite was when we were talking. It was that time that on Darkness Radio and you guys were talking about how, especially Dave, how he doesn't like nature and animals and critters. And I was like, when have you ever come across an angry beaver? And the look he gave me was like, I have. Oh my God. Or that time I thought I was going to get in trouble by Dave because we were talking about something and we had some religious guy on and I was talking about pigtails, something you could hold on to.
Yes.
But it came out wrong. And then I was like, oh my God, of all the guests we have on air.
It's the religious guy and you're talking about holding on to pigtails.
Oh my God.
Well, Mallie, all that magic will slowly be unveiled on the Darkness Radio archives. I've already got...
yeah, how's that coming along?
Well, I've got 2006 and 2007 are already out. I'm into 2008 now, so it'll all come out eventually in the wash. All your dirty, dirty Malleeisms will be...
From 2009 to 2000, I don't know, when did I leave? 13, 14?
14, yep.
14?
Yep, they'll all be unveiled to the general masses.
Yay!
Yay! Everybody will be able to relive them over and over again. I've had people asking about them. When can we hear Mallie again?
Ugh. Well, one of these times, maybe I can make a surprise visit when I come back to Minnesota to say hello.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Once the COVID stuff is over.
Yes. We need to hear Malleeisms, like just shoving it in your mouth and
pulling out.
Because it's gentle reminders like that
yeah. I'm talking about chicken wings, people.
Keep people spitting out their drinks for years and years to come.
Oh my goodness gracious. Whew. All right. So cheeks are still red. Oh my God. So lately, I've been talking about places that are haunted, that are for sale. So if you've got $310,000,
oh yeah,
there is a place in Pennsylvania for you. It's in Greene County, and it's the Captain's Watch Inn. So it is from. It was built in 1858. Included is the main house and a smaller house. The address, in case you want to Google it and check it out, is 105 County Street in Greensboro. It has 8 bedrooms, 6 full bathrooms, 2 powder rooms, and a couple of ghosts. The property is listed for $310,000 with Susan Frank of Park Place Realty. The owner, Bill McCormick, just said you just need enough people to fill the rooms. He's a former lawyer, and he's owned the place for 22 years. He did all the rewiring and plumbing and updating the kitchen and redoing the rooms and the bathrooms, so you don't have to not pick up a finger. What do you call it? Raise a finger. Pick up a finger. Let's see here. He started with the roof and worked his way down, he said. And the main house has 5 bedrooms and the smaller guest cottage has 3 bedrooms. He said when he remodeled it, he basically rebuilt it. The Crawford family built the house and they owned it for 110 years before it ended up in the hands of the Army Corps of Engineers. And then Mr. McCormick, he said he purchased it with the intention of making it an inn. He had never run a bed and breakfast, but he always wanted to do that. The first floor has 2 dining rooms, a pub, and a library for guests to lounge and socialize. And there are 9 working fireplaces in the house. He said that he has most of his visitors come from the East Coast. He also gets a lot of people from West Virginia University, and he's decided to sell it for health reasons that he can't keep up with the property, so it's not selling it because of ghosts. But he said that when he bought the property, he was told that it was haunted. Several guests have reported seeing a ghost. But he, Mr. McCormick, who lives on the third floor, says he's never seen a ghost. Something tells me you have to believe in ghosts before you see them, he said. And all the time I've lived here, I've never heard or saw anything. He said when he first opened up the bed and breakfast, he advertised it as haunted. Ghost hunters descended on the place in packs with all their, he says, woofers and tweeters and ectoplasm machines. They came to the conclusion that the house had two ghosts, an older man and a younger one. They couldn't tell me who they were or why they were here. One ghost hunter came by herself and made an audio tape of the ghost, which she sent to him. He said, I played it and all I heard was white noise. So she told him what the ghost had said and he played it again. He said, I played it and I could hear it as plain as day. It said, hi there, good looking. Once you knew what you were listening for, you could hear it plain as day. Wedding parties often take photographs under this huge maple tree that's on the property. And he has pictures of the place going back 100 years. But in one photo at that location, a ghostly figure appeared at the end of the smiling group. And he said that you could see through this out of focus person and you could see all the way down to the river. So if you've got $310,000 and you want to live in Greensboro and you want to run a bed and breakfast that supposedly is haunted, go for it. But yeah, definitely check it out. One of these days, I'm going to buy one of these properties I keep talking about. I just need some money.
There you go. Yeah. Well, it's only $310K, Mel. I mean, come on.
Yeah, only.
Yeah.
Only.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about, Prince Philip's fascination with UFOs and George Clooney's $10,000 bet for Brad Pitt to spend the night in a haunted house. And that's in our next segment called Spill the Martini.
It's so hard for me to sit back here in this studio looking at a guy out here hollering my name when last year I spent more money on spilled liquor in bars from one side of this world to the other than you made.
Spilling the Martini.
It's that time once again to talk a little paranormal gossip, or Spill the Martini as we call it. Our first story is about Prince Philip, the Queen's husband. There was a close encounter. Prince Philip had a heart-to-heart with TV psychic Uri Geller about UFOs and ET. Uri, 73, claimed that they had a precious golden 15 minutes together, deep in conversation. He said, what astounded me was that the knowledge Prince Philip had about extraterrestrial life, UFOs, consciousness, the universe, and beyond. From the depth of this knowledge, I wouldn't be surprised if he had some kind of paranormal or extraterrestrial experience. You can't just be a believer and such an open-minded person without having seen or experienced something. He said he believed UFOs exist. Uri, known for his spoon bending, said that they chatted at a charity event at St. James Palace back in the 90s. He claimed he was struck by a beam of light as a child during an encounter. He believed his contact with aliens, I think this part is about Uri, aliens in the working class neighborhood in Israel where he grew up, that the contact with the aliens activated his powers. Earlier, it was reported how Philip, who's now 99, has long been fascinated by UFO and alien theories, and that the Duke of Edinburgh is an avid reader of books about aliens and UFOs and has spent decades building up his collection. And it's thought that his interest was sparked by his uncle, Lord Mountbatten, who wrote an official report about an alien in a silver spaceship landing on his estate. So there we go. Prince Philip is interested in the UFOs, extraterrestrials, the other side. So, I mean, that's kind of cool because I feel like the royals are kind of, uptight, close-lipped about anything that's like not the norm.
Yeah, I think they keep things pretty close to the vest. That's for sure. Mm-hmm. They don't let too many state secrets go. That's for sure.
Yeah. Now, if you are in the Norwich, Connecticut area, Brian Cano, former host of Sci-Fi's channel Haunted Collector, he's going to be presenting his traveling History of the Paranormal exhibit from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. December 4th, and on December 5th, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m., and he's going to lead a ghost hunt after 7 o'clock to midnight at the Leffingwell House Museum, which is 348 Washington Street in Norwich. There's going to be a 2-hour ghost hunting session and 1-hour session December 15th that will also feature Dustin Perry from Ghost Hunters on A&E and Ghost Hunters International on Sci-Fi. So to purchase tickets for that, to go see our friends, go to neverstopsearching.com/tour.
Sounds like a good time.
Yeah. So do you have any stories?
Boy, do I ever, Mallie. We'll start out with Dan Aykroyd, who, of course, we had on the show a couple of times over on Darkness Radio. Dan Aykroyd, he said this before in one or two interviews, but he's reaffirming it, that he actually wrote Ghostbusters for the late John Belushi. Before John Belushi died, friend and comic Dan Aykroyd was crafting a script for the two of them, and he hoped that Belushi could be his co-star. The script was Ghostbusters, which grew to become an American comedy tradition. Unfortunately, Belushi didn't dwell to star within the movie. Instead, Ghostbusters starred Aykroyd along with Harold Ramis and Bill Murray. Ramis recalled how the movie was forward of the paranormal curve, which Hollywood finally embraced. No one had done it, Ramis advised Psychology Today in 1996 in regards to the groundbreaking nature of the movie. I don't love to do issues that I really feel like Rye seen earlier than. It's kind of an odd sentence. Dan had written Ghostbusters for himself and John Belushi. When he wrote it, it had actually been on the market. It was actually on the market, he said, the paranormal factor. But one of the best factor about it, I believed, was the mundane edge it had, that the place I believed the comedy needed to go, I performed extra to the science of it. That's like it was retranslated from somewhere else, isn't it? Belushi was imagined to tackle the position of Peter Venkman within the movie, which was in the end crammed by Bill Murray. This is a weird article.
Does not sound. Yeah, it sounds like someone had to
retranslate it from a different language.
Yeah, it kind of does, doesn't it?
Yeah, although Belushi had died, it's almost like somebody had taken it from Google Translate and took it from a different language, and then. But I could read it in a computer voice if you'd like. Although Belushi had died, particular results designer Steve Johnson advised Bloody Disgusting that Belushi was an inspiration behind Slimer. That was the most annoying, horrendous experience I ever had working with art directors, producers, and directors ever, Johnson recounted. In the beginning, they asked for a smile with arms, but before I knew it, he said, quote, "It was a goddamn bleeding nightmare. Give him 13% more pathos, put ears on him, take his ears off, less pathos, more pathos, make his nose bigger, now his nose is too big, make his nose smaller, make him more cartoony, make him less cartoony. I almost effing severed my own head during that process," is what he was quoted as saying.
But he made Slimer's butt so cute.
Well, yeah, it is kind of a cute
It's like
butt
very pattable.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Johnson then conjured Belushi's picture throughout a drug-fueled second, he said. So I pulled out a stack of headshots of John Belushi, poured a gram of cocaine on it, and started chopping lines up, he mentioned.
Jesus.
A good art director will do that, just on occasion. Johnson believes Belushi's ghost arrived to offer him inspiration and inform him to cease doing medicine. This is like it was translated from Google Translate. Ghostbusters was additionally supposed to incorporate comic Eddie Murphy, whose star was shortly rising at the time. I wrote it for Eddie Murphy, Aykroyd mentioned, within the Netflix collection, The Movies That Made Us. It was me, John Belushi, and Eddie Murphy who were supposed to be the original Ghostbusters. Aykroyd apparently pitched the movie to Murphy on the set of Trading Places. Murphy was reportedly skeptical in regards to the position at the time, but Belushi's premature demise modified the trajectory of the movie. The morning that John died, I was typing a line out for him, Aykroyd mentioned. I got the call that he had gone, so even though he wasn't there anymore, I finished the movie. In truth, it says they observed to incorporate Belushi within the movie.
Oh my gosh.
As Slimer got here from Ramis and Aykroyd. the nighttime earlier than Slimer was meant to be accredited. All of the executives have been coming by the following morning to log out on him. This is a weird quote. I get observed saying he gotta appear to be John Belushi. His buddies Harold Ramis and Dan determined this was a strategy to hold him within the film as a slobby, obnoxious ghost like his Bluto character in Animal House. So in other words, he had to appear like he was in Animal House, I guess Johnson shared. And that's exactly what it was. But I'm thinking, it's a smile with arms. How am I going to get him to look like John Belushi? So that's the end of that article, which was discombobulated, to say the least.
Right. Even though it was translated, I learned something. I never knew Eddie Murphy was supposed to be in the movie. And I did not know Slimer was based off John Belushi.
There you go. I think Eddie Murphy.
So there we go.
Yeah, Eddie Murphy's spot was taken by, I can't think of his name now. We've met him before.
Oh.
Out at Parafest in 2013.
Yeah. What was his name? What was
with
his
the
name?
mustache.
Yeah. No, I totally know who you're talking about. And now I'm drawn Ernie Hudson.
Ernie Hudson. That's right. Yep. So there you go.
I knew it was going to come to me.
Yeah. I couldn't think of his name. I was going to say he worked with the Paranormal 911 boys here in Minneapolis. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But there you go.
Cool. Do you have another story?
I do. We're gonna go into my neck of the woods with pro wrestling. I don't know if you've seen this guy or not, Mallie, but AJ Styles of WWE, former WWE champion, has a new bodyguard, and this guy is insanely tall.
Okay.
Insanely tall. Like AJ is probably a couple inches.
Like Andre the Giant tall?
Taller.
Oh.
Yeah. This guy breaks records as far as height goes. You know, they used to bill Andre as being 7 foot something, and even Big Show was billed at one time as being 7'4", although I don't think he was ever that tall. This guy is at least Shaquille O'Neal height, or maybe even taller.
Ooh.
I want to say this guy's got to be at least 7'6", but I don't think they actually give you his height, his real height on TV. They're giving him the name Amos, and I think it was given to him by WWE superstar Matt Riddle.
Okay.
But this story is basically about why WWE gave AJ Styles' bodyguard the name Amos. AJ Styles' new associate in WWE wasn't given a name for the longest time. That changed when Matt Riddle called him Amos. That's a name that stuck, and they continued referring to the giant man as Amos. Jordan Amagbahane, I believe it's Amagbahane, I think is how you pronounce his name, is now known as Amos on WWE television, but there's a reason why they gave the 7'3" Nigerian that name. I swear this guy is bigger than 7'3". If you see this guy in the ring, he looks like he starts at the ring apron and goes to about the sky. I mean, he's just huge. He's the biggest man you've ever seen in your life. He makes the Big Show look like an average size man. WWE likes to give talent names that sound close to other things that are similar to their character, and in Mongolian folklore, an Almas, which is pronounced a lot like Amos, is a creature or deity which is said to inhabit the Caucasus and Pamir Mountains of Central Asia, as well as the Altai Mountains of Western Mongolia. It's also notable that the folk traditions of the Darkad include the deity Almas Kara Tenger, which translates to Almas the Black God. The Almas has been compared to the Yeti or Bigfoot, where they are huge creatures, but their existence has yet to be concretely proven. There is still an ongoing search for the Almas, as recently as 2014, when hair samples believed to belong to an Almas were studied, but it was found to be from a brown bear instead. Now, typically, Mallie, as we found out from different stories that we've read on Supernatural News, a lot of times the hair from a Bigfoot will be misconstrued as hair from a brown bear or even from an ape. And a lot of times that cross-pollination happens when they take a hair sample and bring it in for DNA testing. But interestingly enough, Matt Riddle just came up with the name Amos, and I think it might have got misconstrued by WWE writers. They do that a lot anyways. They're not the brightest bunch over there, the writers at WWE. But this guy fits the bill. I mean, he is huge. He is a big guy. But it's kind of an interesting name nonetheless. So there you go. I got one more here for you.
Sure.
We go to Hollywood, where Keanu Reeves believes in ghosts because of a strange paranormal encounter of his own. Keanu Reeves has starred in movies, but about some strange things in The Matrix, which, by the way, there is a new Matrix sequel coming out, Mallie. I don't know if you know about this or not.
No, I did not, but I like him.
Yeah.
Oh, there's not? Oh, there's.
What's that?
Oh, I thought you said there's not, like you were kidding.
No, there is. There is. In fact, there was a huge to-do over in Germany about the wrap party for The Matrix because they had like over 200 people in a warehouse.
Dang.
And they weren't supposed to because of COVID regulations in Germany.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. And TMZ got the pictures of this wrap party. They had like all these different actors and stuff hanging from the ceiling for this wrap party. And everybody but Keanu Reeves and the main stars of the actual movie were at the wrap party. There was a bunch of extras there and film crew and directors and stuff like that. And they thought it was something else. They had actually told the Germany Film Board that it was supposed to be the shooting of a big club scene.
Okay.
And that's why they had so many people at this wrap party, but it was actually a party for the wrap of the movie.
Oh.
Yeah. But the Matrix is wrap filming now, or the Matrix 4, I believe is what it is. But in The Matrix, he acted in a world that was simulated entirely by malevolent robots in the Bill and Ted movies, which I have not yet seen the new Bill and Ted. That's another movie I've wanted to see.
I haven't seen that one either yet.
Haven't seen that one yet?
Uh-uh.
Okay, well, you got to see that one too. I don't know how it is. I haven't seen the reviews of that, but I've been dying to see that one as well. His character traveled through time, and in Constantine, which, by the way, that's another rumor. That one, he's supposed to be picking up the character of Constantine for another new movie.
Ooh, that would be good.
Yeah, that one would be as well. He fought with demons, to name only a few of the many fantastical films Reeves has starred in. These movies have brought Reeves a lot of fame and have fed into his image as an action star. Producers and audiences just seem to like seeing Keanu Reeves interact with these less than realistic plots. And while Reeves probably has never time traveled like Ted Logan or worked as an assassin like John Wick, it's possible that experiences in his life have impacted how he approaches these roles. So what kind of experiences has Keanu Reeves had with the otherworldly and the paranormal? Well, Keanu Reeves' career started in the 1980s. That's not supernatural at all, but we'll tell you a little bit about it. While Reeves was acting pretty consistently from his minor TV roles in the early 1980s, the earliest role that people associate Reeves with is that of Ted Logan in 1989's Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. From there, his fame really grew, and he expanded into more major roles. The many action and thriller roles that Reeves has played over the years has given him a reputation as an action star. Nonetheless, many of his major roles in the 1980s and 90s were in dramas and comedies like Parenthood and an adaptation of Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing. But with the lead roles in films like Bram Stoker's Dracula, Johnny Mnemonic, I think, and Speed.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Yeah. People soon saw Reeves as an ideal star for thrillers and action movies. With the kinds of roles that Reeves is known for, it makes sense that many of these roles would involve him in dealing with the otherworldly. Bram Stoker's Dracula dealt heavily with traditional folklore, being a vampire story. This film saw Reeves acting as Jonathan Harker and facing off against Count Dracula. In what might be his most famous role, that of Neo in The Matrix, Reeves fights against sentient machines that have been harvesting humans for energy. This is more of a science fiction premise, though the film draws a lot from religion, philosophy, and mythology. In the 2000s, Reeves starred in more films with paranormal elements, and 2005's Constantine saw him performing exorcisms and dealing with the forces of heaven and hell. 47 Ronin added fantasy elements from Japanese folklore to a historical saga. The 2021 year will bring a third sequel to The Matrix, which you mentioned at the beginning of the story. Reeves' acting career clearly involves a lot of strange and fantastical subjects. Now, coming down to Keanu's ghost story. In an episode of Jimmy Kimmel Live, Reeves appeared to answer some questions from the late-night comedy host. The questions Jimmy Kimmel asked were pretty random, from nicknames to the movies he's been in. But a question about ghosts prompted an interesting supernatural story from Reeves. According to the Matrix star, when he was young and just moved to New York, he and his nanny saw a ghost. The two of them were in his bedroom together when Reeves noticed a jacket floating through the air outside the doorway before it disappeared. At his young age, he didn't think much of it, but his nanny apparently was terrified. And Reeves found himself left with the question, is that a ghost or just some weird floating jacket? Perhaps it was that early paranormal experience that led to Keanu to his interest in fantasy and science fiction films. And perhaps at his early calm at such a strange experience is something we can still see today in roles like Neo, where in the face of the incredibly strange, he just stays cool and collected. It says here that Keanu also has survived this long in Hollywood for a reason. He's a great actor, and with serious range, he isn't afraid to take a challenge and often takes on roles that let him flex his considerable acting skills, even if his projects aren't blockbuster level. But what fans really love about Reeves is that he seems like an all-around great guy. There have been a lot of horror stories coming out of Hollywood in the last years, but Reeves' name remains unsullied. In fact, a lot of the stories that have come out about Reeves only paint him in a better light. It does talk about the Matrix sequels, and Reeves giving up back-end points from the Matrix sequels. Trying to get down to the bread and butter of the thing, but basically, if the movie makes a profit, the stars who have back-end points written into their contracts will get a piece of the movie. It's different from residuals, which are payments for reuse of the work, and paid by the distributor. Residuals are big in television, where shows are often syndicated and on different channels after they first air. Reeves, who is famously more interested in the craft of acting than the cash, gave away a large chunk of his back-end points for The Matrix for the special effects and costume design crews. Given the fact that a lot of The Matrix is cool effects and sleek costumes, it would make sense. He still made a lot of money, however, on the Matrix trilogy, so don't feel bad for him. He made $10 million up front for the movie, plus, even though he gave away a lot of his back-end points, he still had enough left to earn $35 million after the film came out. So there you go.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I like him. He seems like a down-to-earth kind of person.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the new Matrix film, and of course, right now he is working out a deal to do another Constantine movie as well. He did well with the John Wick films too. So,
Oh, I like those. Those are good.
Yeah, so he's doing well right now, and it's funny, you know, he's a guy who really does believe in karma, and he's really down to earth, and he does give up a lot for supporting cast and people who work with him and stuff like that. So he really is a good guy. Yeah.
Well, I've got two more stories.
Okay.
So One Direction, for all you teeny boppers, makes me sound old when I say teeny boppers. But
boppers.
I mean, they're now like what, mid-20s, early 30s possibly. But Liam Payne from One Direction, he supposedly has moved into another haunted house. And that is why he's having trouble sleeping. The former One Direction singer was convinced that there was a ghost in his old London home. Now he thinks he's moved into another haunted house, reported femalefirst.co.uk. But he said, I didn't sleep well last night. I've moved into an even more haunted house. It was built in the 1500s and it's old and scary. Maybe we'll do some sort of haunted Big Brother style kind of thing. That would be quite fun. The 27-year-old singer said he had a freaky experience back in May when he was woken up by a loud noise while staying at his old London house. He said, I was in bed and there was a loud bang. I tried to do the whole Ghost Adventures recording thing. Oh, so he's probably acting all tough.
Ah, yes. Yeah.
He said, I sat in my room going, is anyone there? Did you just make that knock? Then the wardrobe light in my room came on and the door of the wardrobe was closed. So something had moved. It was a freaky moment. So apparently this guy just keeps moving to old haunted houses. So maybe he needs to take some, what do you call it? Melatonin?
Melatonin? Yeah.
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 Get a little shut eye.
Catch a little break there. Yeah.
Yeah. And so George Clooney, he made a bet with Brad Pitt and Don, is it Cheadle?
Yep, Don Cheadle.
Yep, he made a $10,000 bet to spend the night in a haunted house on Lake Como, but they couldn't do it. So, yeah, he once bet his Ocean 12 co-stars, Brad Pitt and Don Cheadle, $10,000 to stay in a haunted house in Lake Como overnight, but they couldn't do it. He recalled the story during a video with GQ in which he revisited his most iconic movie roles, including the Ocean's movies, the second of which they shot parts of Lake Como, Italy. We were all staying at my house in Lake Como, and there was this house across the lake. It was empty. There was an Italian book about it, and we made up a story about how haunted it was, Clooney said. I feel like he's a jokester. Clooney, who played Danny Ocean in the movie series, told GQ that his Italian friend Giovanni pretended to read a story about a man who used to kill people in the now abandoned house and then throw them into the lake. Clooney and Giovanni managed to talk everybody into how dangerous this house was. The Oscar-nominated actor then went on a late-night trip with three of his co-stars, Pitt, Cheadle, and Matt Damon, all of whom reprised their roles for Ocean's 11. At 3 a.m, we get a ladder and we put it on this pontoon boat. And Matt and Don and Brad and I took the boat across the water, took the ladder up, and climbed into the house. The first thing we saw was a statue of a snake eating a woman's head. Clooney continued, we came down to the conclusion we give $10,000 to any guy who could spend a night in the haunted house with just a candle and a bottle of wine. You got a candle, you got 6 matches, and you got a bottle of wine. It was Pitt and Cheadle who ended up taking the bet and staying in the supposedly haunted house while Clooney and Damon went back to the boat and drove out to the middle of the lake to see how long their co-stars could last. We were sitting in the boat in the middle of the lake, and we have to see the candle go by every window. It goes by like 2 or 3 windows, and then we get a call, and they're like, F that, get us out of this house. And we came back and pulled them out. Clooney, Pitt, Cheadle, and Damon all starred in all 3 Ocean's movies together. While they have all continued to work together in some capacity ever since, Clooney summarized his fun time making the Ocean's movie. There was a lot of idiocracy that went... Idiocracy? No, how do you say that word?
Idiocracy?
Oh, I guess I was right in the first place.
Yeah.
That went along all the way. So there we go. So he's a prankster. And no one could stay in a haunted house. I bet I could. Would you do it for $10,000?
Heck yeah.
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 I would be all good in the hood.
Heck yeah, for 10 grand?
Yeah. We've done worse.
Exactly. Yeah. For free.
For free. Oh my goodness gracious. So that is, I think, our show. Do you have anything else like that's exciting, that's happening pretty soon, that's coming up?
Let's see. Well, I'll just mention again, years 2006 and 2007 are up for Darkness Radio, either at Stitcher.com or just look up the Darkness Radio app or however you listen to Darkness Radio. Scroll backwards in your list and you'll be able to listen to all those great archives. Mallie, a literal who's who is on those archives. Everybody from Hans Holzer, believe it or not, to your friends at the Ghost Hunters and Ghost Adventures. There's such a deep, rich archive of who's who in those first 2 years. As far as, anybody you want to hear from in those 2 years for interviews. Rosemary Ellen Guiley is there. John Zaffis is there. Oh. Patrick Burns is there, Chris Fleming,
we had Lorraine Warren on there too, but I don't know what year that was.
Both years, 2006 and 2007, shortly after her husband passed away. She was just days after he had passed away. She was on the show. both before and after he had passed away. Before Ed passed away, she was on that show. Yes, Lorraine was on the show. Just any and everybody has been on Darkness Radio in those years. Yeah. So those archives are up and available to listen to now. Again, if you don't know how to listen to Darkness Radio, it's real easy. We're on the Stitcher app. If you have the Stitcher app, if you don't, it's free. Just look for Stitcher on however you listen to on whatever mobile device you listen to, whether it be Android or Apple. Go to your Play Store or your Apple's App Store and look for the Stitcher app, or look for the Darkness Radio app, one or the other, on either format, and download and listen. It's free. It's absolutely free. So I just encourage you to do that. They're there. They're free. They're free. They're fun. By gosh, they're good listening. And while we're all shut inside for the winter and through a pandemic, it's a good way to pass the time. And there's lots of good knowledge, and it's fun and entertaining all at the same time.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then hopefully you and I will get have another episode before the holidays, before Christmas, before it gets too crazy.
Indeed.
So, and that'll be a lot of fun. And then hopefully you will start decorating now, since Thanksgiving is over with.
I might throw a bit of tinsel here and there. I've got a couple of balls to decorate, and I'll get around to it.
Okay, good. All right. Well, everyone, have a wonderful rest of your weekend. And, take care, and we'll talk to you soon.